Hello and welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage and today we're going to be having a look at AGIX. So before we jump into that though, I'd just like to say thank you for watching. If you're enjoying the content, smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, turn on the bell notification, and in the description below you'll find a link to Discord. Check it out, it's free to join. So we've actually held up remarkably quite well, to be honest, considering how everything else is sort of dumped here. And we are still looking for that potential to actually come back a bit lower down in here as a fourth wave. I have mark this out as a potential triangle here, and this is possible. And what that could be looking for is we could argue this in two ways, that either this becomes an A wave and then we form this as an A, B, well, actually, let's try that again. That is an A, a B, all of this becomes a C, a D, and an E, and then we'd actually look to break to the upside. So I'm keeping an eye on this. If we do start to break up here in five-wave structure, then I'd be looking at this fourth wave, potentially looking to complete as this triangle. But we need to be careful because, there is also the possibility that we could look at this in the other way around, where effectively, if I just throw this count onto the chart quickly, we could look at this in the other way, where this becomes an A wave, and then actually we've got this triangle the other way around, where this becomes an A, this becomes a B, we get a C, D, and E, and then actually we look to break to the downside. So if we do look for that as a triangle ready to break for the downside, effectively what I'll be looking for is this 25-25 zone as a one-to-one of this A wave. So this is still on the cards. Alternatively, if we do move back down into this channel, it'll be interesting to see how we react around there. We do have a bearish count where we're actually looking at this potentially slightly different, where this becomes a 1 into here, we have a flat as a 2. So we need to be aware that there is that potential to actually break down. We don't have this fourth wave confirmed yet, rather. And, until we actually do, we need to just bear in mind that we could still break down. Like we've talked about in the previous videos, there is a bit of questionable wave 2 in the beginning here. So if we do actually look to break down deeper here, it would potentially look to invalidate this. And really, invalidation would only come by crossing this 9697. But what we need to do is just be aware that it is a possibility that we could actually just complete this move up here as a three-wave move, no fourth and fifth. And then actually, this is just going to look to actually roll over and potentially head down, back down towards some of these lower targets. Or alternatively, in the more bearish scenario, we're talking about that possibility of actually looking to bring this move down into the zone of this 338 zone. So this is still on the cards. We need to just be aware of it. At the time, for the time being, though, as long as we hold this zone of this 1571, we can still look for this potential for this fourth wave to play out. So it is getting quite choppy in the midst of this, and we were looking at a couple of things. Previously, we were arguing that we could be looking for a breakout here, where we looked at this as a 1 and then this is a 2 into here because we had this five-wave structure here. But that's actually come down and set a lower low over here. So we can't look at it in that way anymore. It is still possible that we could argue that this would be looking at a five-wave structure here. This could then be a B wave, and then actually we look to rally to the upside. So this would either be an A, a B, and a C, and then we could actually look to push this B wave up higher here. So this is something that we need to sort of keep an eye on. It's possible this B wave is not completed either, where this could become an A, we get a B, and then we look to push up for this C wave. If that's the case, what I'd be looking on the lookout for would be this red box area that we have on the screen, as well as this one-to-one. So this one-to-one would actually bring us right up here to the 702 and be a retest of these areas to the left here. So that could be an interesting zone if we do actually move up. We'd need to keep an eye on that zone and just sort of see how we react in this area, because we could actually just move up into the zone and then get further rejection. Alternatively, this B wave could be completed in here, and it might not be a C wave that we're looking for, but rather a three-wave move. And the way that I'm currently looking at it is that effectively this would then become an A wave to the downside. So we'd be looking at this in this way, as this is an A wave, potentially looking for a B wave to the upside here, and then looking for that C wave. So if that triangle fails to develop, and we do actually look to start to break down without getting the necessary structure within this, effectively what we could then be looking for is actually looking to break down towards this 25-25 zone. But like I said, this channel line would be an important area. We potentially could also come back and retest this low point here, We'd have to see exactly how we get on, but given the current structure that we have here, if we had to break down to a 1-to-1, it would actually take us to this 3270. So that's somewhere we could actually look to break down. But as long as we hold this trend line here, we could just remain range bound here. And then it's going to be important to see whether we actually break above some of these key points for a triangle, which would be here, this 4732, or below this point here of this 3718. If we do remain within here for another leg, effectively we could then be looking for that triangle where, like I said, either we look at this as an A, B, C, D, and an E, and then we'd look to break to the upside. Or alternatively, we continue to remain in this zone, and we just form something like this where we actually look to break to the downside. So this would have another two waves to form. The other wave would only have one more to the downside. So keep an eye on this bottom trend line here. If we do come back in for a retest, if we do start to see five-wave structure playing off of the back of that, then we could look for potentially to actually push to the upside here and look for this fifth wave target area, which we have here highlighted at this 132 to this 087. So it depends exactly sort of on the structure rather. We'll be able to get a better indication of how high this can go. We have had a strong wave 3 though, so we need to just be aware that we could see a slightly truncated fifth wave here. We'll have to just let it play out and sort of count the subwaves. Once we start to get that wave 1 and 2, we can start projecting that 3, 4, and then the fifth wave up, trying to pinpoint that target for the upside. But really, as long as we remain below this 67152, we need to be aware that we could still be looking for that downside. Like I said, it's fully possible that we form something like this as a B wave, and then we push up one more time for that C wave, potentially coming back up into these zones that we've got in this red box here, this 5885 to this 4919 zone again, and then actually looking to break down from that point. It's going to be important how we progress to the upside here. There's nothing impulsive that I can see at the moment. It's just three-wave structure currently. I wouldn't be really looking at this as an impulse. The only way you could potentially argue is that you're forming some kind of a diagonal here, where this becomes a 1, 2, 3. We form a fourth, and then we get a small fifth wave within here. But even then, you would have to see that retracement down and then look to push to the upside. At the moment, it just looks corrective, so the triangle option is quite an attractive one at the moment, but we'll have to see whether it manages to hold. The key zones, like I said, it would be lower down here. If we sort of hold this area, then we can look for that potential of that fifth. If we start to lose that 15716, then it becomes less likely. So the other option we were looking at, just going to throw this on, is that possibility of a breakout. Really, we've come down lower now. Like I said, we could argue that potentially this is still possible, where we're looking for this wave 3 to the upside here. But we'd have to get a move up here towards this zone of the 7240 for confirmation of this. And like I said, the current structure isn't indicating an impulse, but it could do if, like I said, we form another three-wave move up here, come back down find support in this zone again, and then actually look to push up in another five-wave move that looks to bring us up here into this zone. Then we can argue that we are sort of within this area. If we just see that smaller five-wave move to the upside here, like I said, that could still find rejection in this zone and then look to continue to the downside. So we've got to just give it a bit of space. It's not invalidated this. It only really gets invalidated by crossing this 3349. But yeah, the structure isn't great within it, and there's probably better ways of counting this, in my opinion. But we are still looking for that potential for the breakout. Um, the other way we were looking at this, and I'm just keeping an eye on it, it hasn't sort of confirmed or anything yet, but what we're looking out for is that possibility to break to the downside, and I can't find it for some reason. There we go. So looking at this slightly different, like I said, we can count these in a few ways, but the problem is like this wave 2 wouldn't have good structure now. We could also argue, that we could be forming a diagonal the other way around here, where this actually becomes a wave 1, 2, 3, we form a 4 and a 5, something like this. It would be very easy to mistake this as a triangle the other way around. What we would be looking for then is basically the same sort of story. We'd be looking for that 3-wave move to the downside. That couldn't be longer than this wave 3 though, so it would have to be shorter than this zone here, this 3, 4, 7, 5. If we did move down and it was less than that, what I'd be looking out for in a three, like if we move down in a 3-wave move, what I'd be looking out for is that retracement to the upside. If we do face rejection again in this zone here, it depends how low we come, like I said, but if we did come back up into this zone of this 50%, this 42.75 to this 46.71 and face rejection again, we could be looking to set up for that deeper third wave. Where this whole move here, basically this whole move would then become an additional 1 and 2 as a diagonal here, and would get this as a 1, come back up for that 2, and then actually look to break down deeper and look to move down towards this zone here of this 18.14. So a direct drop down here to this 18.14 area would be dangerous, because then we would have to start looking at that possibility that we're getting some extension in here, and that potentially we're going to get this additional 4th wave to the upside and then this 5th wave down. So, at the moment, we're still range bound here. It's going to be important to see how this plays out. We can come up with a lot of possibilities when moves are sitting in areas like this. So, it's really important sort of where we progress from this point. If we break to the upside and in 5-wave moves, does it face rejection in this area? If it does, it's most likely coming down again. However, if we just form another leg to the downside here in a 3-wave structure, either that could be a diagonal completed to the downside, and then we're going to face rejection below this low of this 80 or 49.92, or it could break to the upside here, and then we could start to see that 5th wave come into play, and we actually look to actually move up higher into that target zone that we were talking about here. This 132 to this 0.87. So it's going to be important if we do break up the structure rather than this target, because we have had a strong wave 3. I would like this wave 4 to move around a bit more. It is quite small still in relation to the wave 2. So yeah, I mean, we're going to have to just let it play out a little bit. I think that this one does still have that potential to come back down into these ranges, even if we do get a slight push to the upside first. So we're just going to have to give it some space. Okay, I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash that like button. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us feedback down below. Always happy to hear from you. Also in the description below, you'll find a link to the Discord. Come check it out. It is free to join. Once in the general chat area, just mention a member of staff, and we'll be happy to help you out with anything you may need. Also in the description, you'll find affiliate links for PrimeXBT and BYBIT, both great exchanges that we use on a regular basis. Check them out if you don't have an account with them. Using the affiliate link does help support the channel, and we do appreciate it. Everyone, I hope you have a great weekend, and we'll see you in the next one. Take